Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing today? And thank you once again for tuning in. Good morning, Amy, Paris, Patsy, Milkman, Max, Chartran. Good morning. Good. Wish you were clean like me. I haven't taken a shower this morning, so I might be wishing I was clean like you. Ohio, oof. Nothing against you as a person, but boy, oh boy, there's nothing worse than driving through Ohio in the cornfields on your way down to somewhere other than Ohio. Not a good time. Good morning, guys. So, sorry I wasn't on the past 2 days. Really just terrible sleep. Allergies have been killing me. So, today I was going to get on. Anyways, you guys get the point. I don't have to give you guys excuses and whatnot. So, anyways, so you can see by the headline of the video today, there's really nothing like specific that I'm crazy about. There's maybe like 2 stocks that I'm planning on watching, but everything else is kind of just like nonchalant, kind of just hanging out, just watching. Wasn't crazy about it. Maybe there's something you guys mentioned that I end up liking. Harv. Oh, what's going on, Robert? Yeah, I know who you are, bub. All right, so here we are. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about the market. Nothing exciting. Absolutely nothing. Okay. This is what I kind of anticipated. We had the pullback day, and now we're just kind of chopping around consolidating. This makes sense. There's been no kind of recent catalyst news that would significantly bring down the market nor significantly squeeze up the market. So we're kind of just hanging out in this couple-day little channel of consolidation, right? We're relatively close to the 52-week high, right? So you're kind of up towards a little bit of a resistance. And that's just kind of it. It's had a really strong push. And really, we're just kind of in the middle. So for me, I'm not really playing down. I'm not playing up because we're not at a significant point, right? This is a problem that I used to have in the beginning of trading. I don't even want to say it was a problem. It was just something you had to kind of learn and get over, right? I'm not necessarily crazy about trying to make any trading decisions on anything, whether it was a stock or it's an ETF or it's the market, right? I don't get too involved with trying to make these really masterful, educated trading decisions because what's the point, right? The market's not at the 52-week high, significant price point. It's not at a low point. It's right in the middle. It's just hardly above this random point. So there's nothing really significant about it. So it's not trading significant, right? But if we were to zoom out, you would see that this bounce here on the market was at a significant structural bounce point, okay? So like that is pretty predictable, pretty easy. Where the market's at now, we could easily squeeze up, we could drop out a little bit. So it's like you might as well just kind of wait for a move to start happening before you try and get this whole masterful plan for attack, okay? So for me, market is just kind of on standby until we either start spiking up above this previous top or below this little consolidation area, okay? Because a lot of times I would make kind of these trading plans while the market's maybe sideways or a stock is kind of at this random point, and it's like, sure, that's fine, but as soon as it moves the opposite way, everything's all messed up. Like the market, right? You can make this trading plan to say, okay, I'm looking at things long bias. Next thing you know, it takes this consolidational range, snaps to the downside. Now all the stocks you're thinking about being bullish on, they're all bearish on. And so it's like if you just kind of waited neutral on the sidelines, waiting for just some type of momentum to pick up, you'd probably be in better shape. Okay. All right. So now let's touch on AVGO. This is probably going to be one of the main stocks I watch. Probably going to be long bias on this stock today. AVGO gap down from about 285 all the way to a low of 254. So quite a big gap in money to be made back to the upside if this does in fact bounce. We are so far getting a bullish divergence here on the chart with the RSI and price action. So for me, it makes more sense to be watching long bias than it does to be short bias, also considering we're all the way down into this well, we came close, not quite there, but we came close to this $250 bounce point, which is significant. Remember, I said I don't like to trade stuff unless it's off significant points. This is off a significant low bounce point. So if we do a 4-hour chart, you'll see that we came right down into this level. This candle's already getting bought back up from a low of 253. We're up 3 points to 256.50. We're printing 257 now. And now it's starting to squeeze a bit. So hopefully this doesn't go through a full-blown move this morning pre-market. If it does, that will suck. But if it does, it is what it is. So AVGO on watch, long bias. Yes. All right. ARQL did kind of move a bit, but we'll talk about AMD because I know a lot of people's. Well, I know AMD got smoked after hours, but for me, I was more on the side of watching AMD long today. I wouldn't be all gung ho about being short on AMD. I mean, maybe there's a short move, but I just don't see too much more potential down in the current timeline. Right, I would rather be long biased, I think. If you look at the daily, it doesn't even matter. If you look at the daily chart, the 4-hour chart, really $30, right? This is the breakout level. Arguably a little bit lower here at about $29.50 was the breakout. So really anywhere from 30 to maybe around $29.50 would be the buy zone right now. I mean, that is it, right? Stock broke out from here. This should be the 30 to $29.50 should be our new support level. Well, support bounce attempt level. Yeah. So, if you look at the price action on the 4-hour chart now, you'll see that we basically came all the way down into it. We're starting to see a bit of a buyer's candle here pre-market. I think there's a little bit of a long play on AMD today, so I'd probably be following AMD long bias today. Wow, these allergies are just killing me. So if AMD does have a really good day, what's AMD's average true range? That's a good question. What is it? Okay, so AMD's average true range currently is about $1.39, so at 30.60, so at 31.60, that would be 1 point. Wow, that is pretty damn accurate, because I was going to say that if it has a really good day, we could see AMD up to about low points here at 31.80. Its average true range is $1.39. So if it stays where it's at right now, pre-market opens up, goes from 360 to about 380. That would be about a $1.23 move. Average true range is $1.39. That would put it right at these dip bounces, which are now going to be resistance. So if it has a stellar green day, I would say maybe you could even target about 31.80 today on AMD. So that's probably where I would look for. But yeah, I'd probably be more long bias AMD. The more it keeps moving up pre-market, the less of the long that I like. You're going to be probably more susceptible to some choppier pullbacks and up moves. But the lower it stays before opening, the lower it stays pre-market as the bell opens, the easier that the long play would probably be. But if it spikes up to 31, 31.20 pre-market, then you're probably going to be looking for maybe pullbacks out of the gates. Or you're going to look for a move out of the gates, then a pullback, then chop your train, more consolidation rather than a nice swift move. Because you can see we're getting a swift move pre-market, but if it were the bell, we'd still be getting a swift move. So I think the more it goes up pre-market here, the less likely you are to have a fluent move out of the gates. Hold on one second. FVRR was a recent IPO. It IPO'd yesterday. It debuted. Well, yeah, okay. FVRR debuted on the open market yesterday in its IPO. Had a really good day, grinded up all day long. You could probably keep that on watch for continuation. But then again, it's an IPO stock, so it hasn't really proven itself. So though it's in a continuation formation, that rhymed, so I don't like that. Though it's in a continuation setup, it hasn't yet had time on the open or public markets to truly prove itself. So it's like it's hard to go with your typical kind of setups or strategies for stocks when they're IPOs because they really haven't proven themselves. So it's like you're not going to trust a random guy or some random chick, with your wallet that has $10,000 in it on the first date. It's kind of hard to put that much trust into someone the first time meeting them. It's kind of like it's hard to put, too much, bias or too much trust into a stock that's only been on the market for a day. It's not like you're going to, again, yeah, it's hard to do that. So anyways, AMD, I think, should be relatively long bias. BILI, I used to trade BILA quite often back when, what was it, IQ or what was it, IQ? Oh, what was those two stocks? IQ, is that a stock? I thought it was, right? IQ. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, I used to trade BILI back when IQ was like 30s and 40s, and it was actually trading really well. This was like I used to just short the stock all day long on this backside. It was probably, for some reason, I got really good at reading this stock and was able to short like every single top just perfect. So, no, I don't really focus on BILI too much anymore, but maybe I should. Yeah, I'll check. Yeah, I didn't go through emails yesterday, but I'll probably be going through my emails today. Be custom, trading's interesting. Like I said, I had like the worst losing streak probably ever. I do honestly think it was like the worst losing streak ever. And that was it had to be about 3 months ago. It was right basically the beginning of the year. Like the first month I traded okay, then the second month of this year I traded like shit. Third month traded like shit. Going into the fourth month started to pick up, and then this month have just been stellar trading for me. Pretty much almost perfect. But yeah, I mean, it was like the worst losing streak ever. It wasn't really like every single day was a loss, but there was way more losers than there were winners, and it was definitely red for like the first 2 months, or second 2 months, however you want to say that. But yeah, it was tough, and it's like, sometimes you're like, what are you doing wrong? And for me, it was a mix of like I know how to trade, but I was trading terrible, and I was like, well, what am I doing wrong? And part of it was I was just kind of jumping the gun on trades. I wasn't being as patient. Part of it was, being a little stressed from YouTube, working in the chat room, because it's not like I get to just kind of sit and trade for myself anymore. I used to, but when you start mentoring and you do YouTube videos and you do classes, there's usually eyes on you for every single trade you make, and there's someone that's just waiting to criticize you at every wrong step you make. So when you have that additional pressure, it can really screw up your trading, and that's what happened to me. Like the second 2 months of this year, I just had this extreme amount of pressure to perform well, and I wasn't. So then it made me feel like I had to prove something to everybody else and myself, and that made me trade worse. And then I basically said, screw it, let me just trade for myself, whether it's just a quick $100 play or a $200 scalp, whether or not people find it as easy to trade this same style. Let me just kind of go back to the way I know I can easily make money. And then once I get back in my groove, then maybe I'll start to kind of aim for some different trades. And I did that. And next thing you know, it's been 2.5 months and I've just basically been green, no problem. Basically, haven't been scared of trading, no hesitation to my trades, haven't been scared to pull the trigger. Most of the days I am green. If it's red, it's usually very small now. So sometimes just kind of sitting back and just really thinking about what you're doing wrong. Yeah, exactly, David Chan. That's basically the best way to sum it up. Performance anxiety with a crowd, right? I never experienced it, never really had a problem with it until like this year. It was like 2 months in, and I just, I don't know, I started psyching myself out, getting in my own head. I'm like, hey, it was like 2 months, dude. It was like 2 months of like, okay, you just lost like $1,000. Oh, now you lost $2,000 a day. Oh, I lost another $1,500 a day. Like, oh, you made a couple $100, but that doesn't outweigh the $5,000 you lost. Like, oh, then you lost another $1,000. At that point, it's like, wow, you're really doing bad. And there's now a lot of people, online or just in general are gonna be like, wow, this guy obviously clearly has no clue what he's doing. But it's like, yeah, but you haven't seen. You're gonna take just those 2 bad months and like, oh my gosh, versus all the years of videos I've already been posting and all the other wins and all the other trades. We're going to take these couple months and you're going to use those most to bash on me. And that's what really psyched me up, got me going. And then I was like, wow, just struggling hard. But then I kind of took a step back and was like, all right, sorry for saying this, but it was just, all right, screw what everybody else thinks. Screw what people think. Just go out, do what you know how to do. Make the money where and how you know how to make it, regardless of what anybody else is going to think. And that's usually the way I do things. But for some reason, I kind of got that social media, like anxiety, if you want to call it, or something like that. And it screwed my trading up pretty bad there for a bit. And I was just losing money. And then I just kind of stepped back, focused, and here we are, back in the green, doing just fine. Main takeaway and that was with me. Now that probably isn't going to relate to many people, if any, because most people aren't in the situations that I am when it comes to trading. But what you can take away from it is even being experienced and even doing this every single day. Even I can get out of shape, get in a funk, mess it up bad, but still come back, right? There's still light at the end of the tunnel, right? Everybody's going to mess up, everyone's going to lose, but it's how you bounce back from it, how you keep your head on straight, how you don't beat yourself down too much. You stay confident and come back, right? And take the necessary steps to fix what's wrong, right? Don't just sit there and keep running in a circle doing the same shit, because you're just going to beat yourself down further. Hold on, I'm just kind of going through. Hold on. Take some Viagra. How do you know how much stocks move a day, Stock Boss? It's called average true range. It basically gives you an idea of the average or median that a stock, I won't really say median, that's the incorrect word, but the average amount that a stock, the average dollar amount that a stock will typically move in any given day, calculated over a 14-day trading period. Anyways, all right, cool, guys. So you know that, right? So AVGO is okay. So for me, again, going through stocks, I'm just gonna zip through these because this is generally how fast I run through stocks these days. For the most part, just take a quick overview. But like BABA, to me, there wasn't really anything about BABA today that seemed great. Initially, I was thinking short bias, so if anything, I'd probably watch BABA short, right? So, and actually the way this one is kind of one that looks like it's going to turn into a really good short, but I'm like on the fence about it. So if anything, maybe what, and I'm just kind of running through because we didn't talk too much about stocks, but anyways, maybe take a look at BABA short bias today, right? Netflix, and again, I'm not really crazy about much today. Netflix wasn't really a whole lot going on. The only thing I seen here with Netflix was a potential inverse head and shoulders bounce play around 340. You have the inverse head and shoulder here where we come down, we bounce, we go lower, that's the head, we go back up, this is the right shoulder, we're down at 340. The only difference between the left side and the right side is the left side, this was, this has a rolling formation here in the armpit. This is a straight downward move. So this downward move is far more bearish. And a lot of times these don't result in the best bounces, but actually mean we're probably going to press lower. So kind of neutral on this. I think there's a bounce play on Netflix today, but if there is, I don't think it's going to be massive. And I think it's going to be short-lived, meaning I don't think it's going back up to 361s, 380s, price 370s. Okay. BYND. BYND is kind of just a choppy little turd right now. It came down, it bounced, we're kind of consolidating. So this again, guys, remember when I'm like, I don't like to trade things that are just in the middle. This is not at the high, it's not at the low, it's right in the middle. So you're very susceptible if you get short. Like if you were a short bias trader, you're very susceptible to getting squeezed. If you are a long bias trader, you're very susceptible to getting dropped out because it's just in a consolidation. So right now it's basically a 50-50 battle zone between buyers and sellers. So it's like, I don't really want to sit, I mean, I don't want to sit at the front lines just getting attacked. I'd rather just wait till one side starts to win the battle and then ride that wave, okay? So again, a Disney, I'd be short bias today. I don't know if there's news or anything. I wasn't paying attention, but I'd be short bias Disney today. Disney's at a top, so I'd be short until it pulls back. Then I'd be long for the third attempt to break. Tesla, I'd be short bias today, probably. I'm not going to look at it right now, but again, I can generally, Amazon I didn't look at today, but Tesla I'd be short bias on. ARQL, I believe, did that one gap up? It's been a while since I looked at it. Yeah, ARQL gapped up. I don't know what it's about or why, but it's worth watching. I think this is a biotech. Is this a biotech? Yeah, it's worth watching. There's not too much more there. If you look at the 3-year chart, I mean, it's going to be into a 52-week high, so there's no resistance you can go off, et cetera, et cetera. So worth watching, but can't give too much info since we're at 8:56 in the morning here. Got to run here pretty soon. Do I trade Bitcoin? No, I don't trade Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Why don't you trade penny stocks like you used to? So I do trade penny stocks, but not like I used to. I used to mainly focus on trading penny stocks until I realized that penny stocks just aren't good to trade every single day. And I've said this a lot of times, so I'll just keep saying it. Penny stocks are not good to trade every single day. Why? Because there's not good penny stocks to trade every single day. There's always a good large cap stock to trade every single day. When there is a good penny stock to trade, then I'll be on it. So the way I see it is I just have become extremely selective with the penny stocks I choose to trade. And generally, if there is a penny stock on my watch list these days, it generally performs pretty well. Meaning if I don't have one on, it's because I don't really like what's going on. Doesn't mean that one won't pop up, but when there is one on my watch list, that means I've usually vetted it pretty extensively, meaning it's probably a pretty good penny stock to trade for that day. And if you solely focus on penny stocks to trade, then you're going to run out of things to trade, right? If you focus on penny stocks and large caps, you basically have just opened up your trading opportunity far greater. Disney. Is there something wrong with buying more than 100 contracts at a time? Absolutely not. Buying one contract is the same as buying 10,000 contracts. The only difference is you need more money and you're going to make and lose money faster. So as long as you can accept the risk, then there's nothing wrong with it. There's more to it, but yeah. AMD, I'd be more of a long bias trader. Roku, I was on standby today because it didn't really give me anything that I was too crazy about. So neutral on neutral on Roku until it starts moving today. Today I'd be more inclined just to wait for an intraday sort of setup or wedge development pattern on Roku before doing anything. Twitter, haven't seen anything. Yes, I agree. Good stuff. It's harder to get. Yeah, it's generally a little bit. Actually, I can tell you right now, I've traded thousands of contracts. I've bought and sold 400 contracts at a time. Generally, I'm out within seconds. So then again, you have to be trading something liquid. When I'm trading that many options, it's usually on the market, the SPY. So that's usually pretty liquid. But I traded 1,000 contracts at a time. I've traded 400, 500, 600, 700. I think I remember trading 1,000 contracts. I think it was 1,000 contracts. I think I shorted 1,000 contracts. I got 1,000 puts one time. Long story short, it was 1,000 puts on a top. I could just tell the market was going to roll over. So I bought 1,000 puts on the top of a 1 minute candle. Next 1 minute candle opens up. Thing drops like just a rock, just instantly zing right down. Made $14,000 in like 15 seconds. It was ridiculous. I bought 1,000 contracts. Next 1 minute candle opens up. Thing just goes zing, and I was up $15,000. Sold it, done. It was the most insane trade that I ever made, like that quick. It was like literally 10, 15 seconds for 15,000. Do I recommend doing it? No, but I just had. It was just one of those times where you were just in the zone. I felt it. I knew what was going to happen, so I was like, boom, do it. Pull the trigger. If it starts to go the other way, just take it off. It'll be a big loss, but it is what it is. And panned out. I've never done it since, by the way. All right, guys. With that being said, I do got to get back to our private group now. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. As always, really do appreciate it. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up before you head out the door. And every single video that you watch of mine, make sure to smash the like button, because when you do, the YouTube algorithm reads that, and then they help promote my videos. Without them, we don't get as much exposure. And again, I do also do this for a living, so would appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys. By the way, won't see you Monday, won't see you Tuesday, won't be doing videos Monday or Tuesday, most likely, because I will be gone on a golf trip for Father's Day. So everybody take care. See you on Wednesday of next week. And goodbye.